And Miss World America 2021 is Shree Saini.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Siatuvala. Today we're going to be meeting a pageant title holder who has warmed her fans' hearts not just through her physical beauty, but also her inner beauty. I'm so happy to welcome Shree Saini to the show. Hi, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for all your support and love on my journey.
Of course, of course. It's a pleasure to meet you. And first of all, I wanted to talk to you about all these obstacles that you have faced, your heart condition, and then your accident, and all those things that happened.
Right.
Where did you get that inspiration and energy to get through it all?
I found my strength through prayers and through my family's support. My parents always told me to fully accept that I had gone through these challenges and not to fight it, just to accept that yes, I will forever have to live with the pacemaker. And after my car accident, I had to accept that this is how my face is going to be for a while now. And the only thing that we can control in our life, in any hardship, is how are we going to respond to that circumstance. We cannot let our challenges, our hardships, our circumstances define us. What truly defines us is the choices that we make in our life and how we respond to them. So my mom taught me to respond with resilience, to make wise decisions every day towards healing. So through my pacemaker surgery, I had to rebuild my strength back up through many hospital visits. And again, with my burns, I had to slowly think about ways, how can I cleanse my face every few hours in order to, promote the healing process. So it's just moment to moment wise decisions that led me to overcome those challenges, and filling my mind with, positive thoughts and intentionally telling myself that I can overcome this. It will take a while, it will be painful, but I am capable. So just reminding myself that I can do it.
You're a warrior. Thank you so
you.
much for sharing that. It's definitely, coming from the depths of your heart. So it really talks about a lot about your personality and things that you've gone through. The next thing I wanted to ask you was, how has pageantry specifically helped you achieve your purpose?
So pageantry and the Miss World organization, it's all about charity and using this title and crown and sash to amplify the voice of different charities and nonprofits. So because I had, suffered through physical and emotional pain, my centered focus for my charity project was heart health and emotional health. So pageantry allowed me a bigger voice and platform to have interviews like this, to also go to different high school conferences, conventions all around America. I was invited to over 100 cities, 34 states, and even 8 countries to speak about my message of resilience and kindness and hope and perseverance, which I hope is a message that anyone can connect with, not just here in the US, but around the world, because I think we all are going to be faced with challenges or have faced challenges. So if I could be that beacon of hope for people in that moment, it is such a blessing, and I'm so grateful that through the Miss World organization, I've been able to do that.
Amazing. Thanks for that. In some prior interviews, you've mentioned that you were actually interested in pageantry since you were 6. So
Yes.
that's pretty cute. I can literally imagine you wearing a little princess tiara and walking around. But apart from that, what kind of message do you want to, or tips do you want to give other people who want to get into the space as well and kind of win their own titles?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because there is a picture of me when I was 6, and I was dressed as Miss World. And to any girls who are interested in joining pageantry, I would say find your why, find your purpose. Your job as a title holder is to share a message. So understand what do you stand for, and what charity work do you want to do throughout the year. And you could have one charity work as your focus. For me, it's Heart Health, and I work with American Heart Association. But know that throughout the year, you're going to be invited to different nonprofits and to help them aid. So understand, how are you going to best benefit those different NGOs? Ask the NGOs, do you need supplies? Do you need more awareness? Do you need more funds? And then after understanding what the NGOs needs, get to work with this crown and sash and go to like for example, I fundraised $24,000 for Variety's children's charity, and I did that by first understanding, yes, they need funds, and yes, they need awareness, and then making phone calls throughout the year to different donors, different family members, different friends, and explaining to them about Variety. And I'm so grateful I was able to raise those funds for medical care, medical kit, and more hospital supplies. So just truly understand your why and know that this is a year of service.
That's amazing. There's so much depth to pageantry, the way you're explaining it, and it's not just all about unicorn and being princess and so on and so forth.
Of course not at all.
Amazing. The next thing I wanted to ask you was, you've got so many amazing credentials. You've gone to some really prestigious institutions that people only dream of. So
yes.
Congrats on that.
Thank you so much.
How do you think these educational pursuits have shaped you, and what made you pick these options to begin with?
Well, I believe the only way to grow is through learning. And ever since I was a little girl, I was just fascinated by university life and Ivy League education. I wanted to learn as much as I could in my undergrad career. So even though I finished my undergrad at University of Washington, I found an incredible opportunity of being a visiting student at Harvard and then later on at Yale and Stanford. And I was like, what an exceptional opportunity to learn from professors, learn from peers, people who come from all walks of lives to universities to learn. And I did. I learned nonprofit management from Harvard University. I did performing arts at Yale, and I took about 30 credits at Stanford, but emphasizing my Stanford experience on social entrepreneurship. And I just learned a lot about how can I utilize my voice to be of change, and that helped me later on in pageantry. And fun fact, my Harvard and Stanford professor is actually going to come watch Miss World, and he's going to be in the audience.
That's fun. That's amazing.
Thank you.
When you can see so many people have shaped your life, and then they're actually seeing you succeed,
Yes.
they're probably more happy than anything else, right?
Yes.
Similar to your parents. So
And
that's
I always say that it's not just my journey, it's the journey of everyone who has held my hand since I was a little girl, everyone who's been encouraging, and everyone who has supported me. So I'm grateful to take everyone's blessings and prayers with me, and also see many people in the audience.
yes, you're filled with gratitude. That's amazing to hear. On that note, you have been a strong advocate for so many different reasons and purposes. For example, starting from heart health, as you said, to bullying, to mental awareness.
Yes.
Would you like to share some details about your own charity with our viewers? And I also wanted them to know how they can get involved in some of the initiatives that you are pursuing.
Yes, of course. So I have been volunteering with over now 100 nonprofits for the past 10 years, and it's surreal to think that I was able to make that impact. But I just want viewers to know that to create a change, you just have to start and take action, because I think fundamentally we all do want to help. We do want to use the free hours that we have and make hours to be of assistance and aid. But sometimes we think, do I have anything to contribute? Would I be able to help? So to viewers listening, I just want to inspire you that we're part of a big world family, and it is such a privilege to give back. So to find local nonprofits in your area and find ways that you can assist them. And I bet that when you look back in your life, those memories that you made where you were creating a positive impact will become some of your most cherished memories. And you can even take your family members with you, friends with you, and make it a social experience as well. And my nonprofit work is on my social media, Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to get involved, just follow my journey on my social media, because I consistently post ways you can reach out and help. And the greatest help I believe anyone could be is to be the kindest version of yourself, because I think true charity begins from within and how you treat people at the end of each conversation and interaction.
So pageantry involves a lot of talent aspects as well, and obviously you had your talent round, and
Yes.
I saw your video and you did a dance. So
I did.
Share with our viewers, how many dance forms are you trained in, number one, and is there a stage that you haven't really conquered and you really want to conquer?
Ooh, so I am a ballerina, so that's my main focus for dance. I also had the honor of learning clogging and tap. Later on in college, I actually was on the UW hip hop dance team, and I did dabble into Bollywood, and I have focused a lot on jazz and contemporary. So those are all the dance styles I have, had the privilege of learning and performing in. But for your second question, what stage I'm looking forward to is obviously Miss World, as I go to Miss World now, and my dance is very unique. It's a message-based dance, so I always believe that, since I am given this opportunity to go on stage and perform, or like any opportunity I get to go on stage, I want to share a message. So in my dance, it actually has my message of the obstacles I went through and then how I overcame it, and my message of sharing the message of compassion, kindness, hope, perseverance. So I'm looking forward to sharing my dance at Miss World with their judges, staff, the other contestants, and hopefully they'll like it and feel inspired and enjoy seeing me dance.
Okay, so to see the fun side of you as well, I prepared a few rapid fire questions that I wanted to ask you. So the first one is, if your friends used any one word to describe you, what would that be?
Generous.
Okay.
I love to memorize all my friends' birthdays, and I want to make them feel special, so I always make custom gifts for them. And I try to be the first one to wish them through call or text. So I think generous. And I actually asked them that for an interview earlier, and that's what they said. So
Very nice, very nice. And one personality you would like to go back in time and meet?
it would definitely be Nelson Mandela, because he has taught us all about forgiveness. He spent so many years in such a small jail cell, but he continued to choose kindness, continued to be compassionate, regardless of how people treated him. He never forgot what he stands for.
Amazing. If you met your 12-year-old self again, what would you tell her?
Well, when I was 12, I was undergoing a massive heart surgery for a pacemaker implant, and I was really scared. I didn't know, my doctors told me that I couldn't live a normal life or dance again. I was pulled out of school sports, so it was a very dark moment in my life. But now, having overcome that obstacle, I would just tell my 12-year-old self that she will one day overcome that challenge and other challenges that she might face, and to not lose sight of her hope, and to continue to work really, really hard, not just for herself and her dreams, but also for her community. So yeah.
Amazing. So in one of the questions earlier, you said you've visited 34 states already.
Yes.
I was curious, out of the 50, are there any left that you really want to go to?
Well, there was a convention in Colorado that invited me, and they wrote me the most beautiful email. I couldn't go because I was taking a final that day. Now that I've graduated, I am open. But I would just want to go to Colorado. I know it sounds random, but I think it's the people that make this place so special, because now that I have been to 34 states and 8 countries, it's usually I'm in a hotel room, then I'm at a convention, conference, and then back to my hotel room. But it's the people I meet at those conferences and galas that make that event so special. So also just the people who invited me in Colorado.
Amazing, amazing. The next thing is your favorite dish.
Ooh, well, I am Punjabi, and so I love paneer and I love yogurt. So typical Punjabi answer. So paneer ki sabji and with yogurt. Yeah.
Yes, that sounds delicious. And the last one was your favorite book.
One of my favorite books is Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, and he talks about the power of thoughts and intentionally working on our subconscious mind by, actively working on affirmations and intentionally planning out our day, and not just feeling overwhelmed all the time, but knowing that we can step back, analyze our thinking, and really question ourselves on why are we thinking this way, and finding solutions to what's causing our anxiety. And so he's really incredible in explaining those concepts, and because I think everything begins with having a good mental health, and he has done a lot of great work in that area.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for going through the rapid fire round. That was great knowing you. There's a fun side to you, and I'm glad our viewers were able to see that as well. You have mentioned a lot of different things. You kind of gave a little snapshot into what you're going to be doing in your next pageant as well, especially on the talent side.
Yes.
But I wanted our viewers to know a bit more about where else can we see you, and what other goals are you going to be winning in the next little while?
Well, the next place you can see me is at the Miss World stage, the biggest celebration of sisterhood, charity work, and I hope to not only represent the United States of America, but also my Indian heritage and anyone who has ever felt, defeated. So hopefully I can bring about a lot of hope and change through my performance as Miss World. And moving on after Miss World, I want to lead a life of service. So as long as you guys continue to follow me on my social media, you'll get to see all the impact that I'm doing. And if there's any way I could be a positive contributor to your organization, do let me know.
That's great. Thank you so much for that, Shri. And it's been wonderful knowing you prior to the interview, during the interview, and I'm sure we'll be keeping in touch in terms of, your next few challenges and goals that you're going to be achieving as well. But I thank you for your time, and all the best.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for viewing, and thank you for all your love.